What's up, guys? It's Drewberry here, and the moment has arrived. 6 drops. The 6 drop card ratings. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got some spicy ones in this video. So, if you're new to these card rating videos, just a quick little tidbit here. The way I develop these card ratings is twofold. 1, my own personal experiences, but don't hold too much weight in that. 2, snapfan.com. Go check it out. You can upload all of your data. You can upload your profile from Marvel Snap, and it'll pull all of your past data of win rates with cards, your decks, your history log, all that good stuff. And it's taken it all from all the players that are uploading and created win rates for cards. These are sample sizes of sometimes only 100 if the card's not very popular to over 2,000. So it's a decent sample size that we can pull data from and kind of evaluate cards with. So that's what I've taken. So let's say the card had a 50% win rate. That's a 3-star card. But based on my own personal experiences and what I saw with the card and maybe my own judgments, I either raise it 1 star or I decrease it 1 star. So, I'm not going to go over every single card. If there's a card that you want to talk about, mention it in the comments below. If I'm really off the mark, I want feedback because I'm going to update these later on. And when there's patch notes, I'm going to adjust the star ratings accordingly. So please let me know if I've really missed the mark on one and we can talk about it. Let's get into Pool 1. Ooh, by the way, stick around for the end of the video. There's some statistics straight from snapfan.com there. Very interesting stuff. Pool 1, Spectrum is trash. Trash, trash, trash. Maybe she won you a game one time, but she probably lost you 10. She's bad. She gets a 1 star. Blue Marvel, my boy Blue Marvel. I really liked him when I started playing this game. He's simple, he's easy, works great with a lot of 1-drops when you're playing that deck with Kazar, but he's just not that good. There's just cards that do better than what he does, and he's probably not going to win the location he's placed on. So ultimately he falls just a bit short and he's just too expensive. So he is a 2-star card. APOC gets 4 stars. Honestly, he could get 5. But I gave him 4 because he needs setup. He needs a lot of setup. Otherwise, he's just 8 for 6 and that's just not enough. There's a lot of better cards that do that. If he gets discard at least once, he's extremely valuable. All of the no effect cards get 2 stars. So I've given Hulk 2 stars because he's amazing in Patriot decks. I love running Hulk and smashing people in my Patriot deck. It's so much fun. Odin and Onslaught and Heimdall, they all kind of do their respective thing to introduce you to move decks, ongoing decks, and on-reveal decks. All are pretty good. All can find their own spot. But ultimately, I couldn't give them too high of a star rating because I think they kind of get eclipsed by other deck archetypes as you later progress in the collection. America Chavez, despite being nerfed, still gets 4 stars. I still think she's good. I still see her get played. It's reliable. It's a decent amount of power. She gets 4 stars. Let's move on to Pool 2. Wow, so many options. The Infinite, 4-star card. Moving on to Pool 3. Okay, Pool 3 is a bit tricky here. So I'm going to start with Ultron. Ultron's bad. He only creates drones in adjacent locations, and they're only 1 power. So best case scenario is that you already have Patriot out there and he's going to buff all those drones. But even then, it's just not enough. Like, you don't need to fill those locations. What if they're already filled? Then he's just 7 power for 6. Just a bit underwhelming. I feel like he could use a marginal buff and be okay. The idea is there. It's pretty neat, but just not powerful enough yet. Agatha. You're going to see in the win rates as I get to that she's actually quite a high win rate, but I could not justify giving her a better star rating. You're not playing the game. Maybe you built a good deck, but you could probably pilot better than a bot does. That's ultimately what she is. So I had to give her 2 stars. Hela is the best card in the game. Literally the highest win rate card in the game. She is the best when you compare her with Invisible Girl, or just discarding a bunch of heavy costed cards in your hand that have high power totals, and then bam, on turn 6 you just flood the deck with all this crazy amounts of power your opponent didn't see coming. It's just too much. She's very powerful. Honestly, I know her stat line is like 6/6 for like 666 being death or something like that, the goddess of death, but I think she should drop in power or something so that she's not so powerful and requires a little bit more of a setup in your hand. I don't know, too powerful. My boy Arnim Zola. It really hurt me to give him 2 stars. I absolutely love this card, but I just don't think he's there. He whiffs a lot of the time. Let's say Central Park is one of the locations. he's screwed. The only way he's reliable is if you have one card that you want to destroy and duplicate on a location riding solo. So if it's interrupted for any which reason, if your opponent shoved cards over on your side or Central Park, for instance, or maybe you just had to play more cards at one location and now you're taking a gamble, it just whiffs too often and he does nothing himself. Like he's 0 power. You're abandoning the location you're playing him at. That's usually the play. So I had to give him 2 stars. I wanted to give him more, guys, but I had to give him 2. But Magneto gets 5. Magneto's great. You know, he's 12 power if he doesn't move anything, or you disrupt your opponent's plays by moving over their cards and they didn't see that coming until the last turn. So I gave him 5 stars. I think he's a fantastic card. Leader might be a little bit more controversial. I think a lot of people have success with Leader, but I couldn't justify giving him a high star rate because it's ultimately dependent on what your opponent plays. And anytime you have to hope your opponent does something good that benefits you, then you're probably not in a good spot and you're probably not going to win consecutive games. You're kind of rolling the dice, so to speak. There's some cool combinations that I've seen with Leader. So he's definitely not a trash card, so I gave him 2 stars. But I'm not in love with the hoping everything works out plan. All right, if I didn't mention one, let me know. I will, as we get to the ratings here, I will mention Death. She is probably one of the best cards. She's right there with Hela. She is so good. I think her cost should go up so that there's more effort to decrease the cost. She's way too good with Wave. That probably just shouldn't work where she gets discounted to 4 with Wave and then her effect still applies. That's just bonkers. So Death is a 5-star card. Okay, let's get into the stats. So our top 5 are Hela, Agatha, just crazy. I didn't see that coming. Death, Infinite, and Destroyer. Pretty cool that Infinite makes it there. He's awesome. But Agatha makes it because she's only got 32 games played and a 65% win rate when she's played. That's nutty. I don't know. Maybe the bots know better than us. Or maybe it's just a lot of low-rank people playing her. I have no idea. But that's pretty fascinating. But then you got your Hela, your Death. They're just too good. And then Destroy is pretty good too. He's a high-power card. He works with Destroy decks. There's ways to cheat him out. Great card. Bottom 5. Blue Marvel is your worst 6-drop according to win rates. And in a 221 game span. That's rough, man. 40% win rate every time you play Blue Marvel. He's just not enough of a payoff. Then we got Hulk. He's running number 2. I think that's only because maybe he's not being run with Patriot, because I really have a good success rate with him when in my Patriot decks. And maybe early on there's some new players running Hulk and they're not winning games and that's affecting his win rate. But then the other flip of the coin is that the only people probably uploading data to snapfan.com are probably experienced players. So that's something to consider too, right? And then you got Ultron, Arnim Zola, Heimdall. Heimdall was a bit surprising, but the move package ultimately falls short more often than not. So that's 48% win rate for you right there. All right, so that's our stats for the 6 drops. Guys, this took a lot of effort to put these card ratings together, getting every single card, putting a rating, putting the text together. It was just a lot of work. I'd really appreciate it if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I do a bunch of fun gameplay videos. I'm going to do more of these card ratings and just keep you updated in Marvel Snap. I love this game. It's worth the effort. So snap on, and I'll catch you guys next time.